That is one catchy tune. I believe in you. Hello, Curtis, and welcome, one and all. Good evening. Really, so grateful and happy that you're all here. Yay, let me just fix it all. It is Moon Day. Welcome to Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace. Woody woot! So happy that you're here. I have my tea ready. I have my water ready. I have my sketch notebook. Rowena is here just in time. So happy that you were able to make it from your meeting. Everybody, it is another week. We made it! And most importantly, we made it out of Scorpio season. What? Tomorrow starts a brand new season. It is going to be a brand new day. Lots of possibilities, infinite potential. And I'm just so happy to be done with Scorpio, but not really. Not really, because actually the moon today, or tonight, I should say, is in Scorpio until Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, it transitions into Sagittarius, which is where the new moon is going to happen. But it's okay. It's all working out perfectly. And we're going to talk about a lot of things because, as you know, even though the new moon is on Wednesday, we're celebrating it today. We're doing our thing today. And the beautiful thing about that is that you get to watch the replay and do it all over again if you want to do it on the day off. You're welcome to do that. No need, because 24 hours before, 24 hours after tends to be kind of like the common consensus about moon energy, or the window of opportunity. So I'm very excited to be doing this today. And yes, Rowena, I am very excited as well to be transitioning into a more hopeful time, a hopeful kind of season. That's really what I wanted to say, because Sagittarius, we're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about what the sign tends to stand for or be known for. But most importantly, I love that it is that bow and arrow, right? That's the symbol for the sign. And so we're going to talk about what that means. So thank you all for being here. Hello, Rodney. So grateful that you're here. Yes, it's been a very interesting weekend and very beautiful, as well, as we are transitioning deeper into the holiday season, into cold fronts and, snowstorms. The tragedy in Colorado Springs does not escape me, and I couldn't, I wouldn't be myself if I didn't bring it up. The horrific things that happen. Why? I just don't understand. But it's I'm just grateful to be here, right? Another day, another week, to be able to connect with you all, and the beauty of the privileges that we have. It's just, oh, like we take it for granted too much or too often. So I wanted to take a moment and just bring that up, because we tend to complain a lot, but we really have absolutely no reason to complain. So ponder that, right? If you're watching this, then you have a lot of technology accessible to you, and that's one of the clues that tells me that you probably have very little reason to complain, because there's a lot of other technologies at our disposal. So it's Moon Day, and let's go into the moon cast, if you will. So as I said, the moon starts this week being in Scorpio. We went all weekend with the moon in Libra. So if you were experimenting kind of the energy of not wanting to disturb the peace, that's very moon in Libra. The energy of really striving for that balance, and maybe feeling frustrated in moments that you were pulled to do something but you wanted to do something else. So think about that balance. If you're being pulled to do something but you wanted to do this, then you're not in alignment, right? So the moon in Libra reminds us of these things as well. And I like to mention the negative so that you can pinpoint what you may have been experiencing that is kind of in tune with it, but on the negative sense, right? So that we can fix it. And so, or not fix it, but do better, and really be on the lookout, so that then you can course correct and progress, right? That's what progressing is. And so moving into Scorpio for 3 days, it's kind of the goodbye of the Scorpio season, and you may be experiencing a lot of in-depth feelings about the season in general, maybe some kind of remnants of negative energy, some kind of deja vu type of feeling for the past season. There is good news though, because this week Mercury aligns with Venus, and I'm very excited to talk about that in alignment with the new moon context that we have already discussed many times, because Mercury, as we've discussed before, is all about thoughts, right? As above, Mercury is the planet that rules communication or miscommunication when it goes in retrograde, right? So communication, words, thoughts, ideas, inspiration, right? Anything that has to do with kind of that receiving, that's Mercury, or any type of communicating as well. So for those of you that are writers, Mercury rules that, transmission of ideas and then you express them or not, right? And then Mercury is aligning with Venus. And Venus is the planet of passions, planet of love, planet of those desires really coming to life. Venus rules Taurus, which is an earth sign. So Venus is always known for kind of earthing. So those words or those inspirations that Mercury has kind of like above, then Venus brings them down so below. And so when Mercury aligns with Venus, you can think of the energy of manifestation or the energy of really bringing things about. So if this week you're kind of completing projects, which in all honesty, I am going through this, which is amazing how when I found out that Mercury was aligning with Venus, I was like, wow. Like I couldn't believe that what I am going through is aligning with something that is happening how many miles away? Right? Eons away. And so it's very interesting to dive into it. So if you're feeling this week like some of your projects are coming to fruition, some of your chickens are coming home to roost, right? Those are some of the phrases that we like to say. Then that's Mercury aligning with Venus. Ideas coming to materializing, and with Black Friday and Small Business Saturday and Cyber Monday happening all this coming weekend, a lot of businesses are doing this, right? A lot of businesses are upgrading their shops and upgrading their merchandise, and new projects are coming to the surface. I know Rodney is releasing some of his projects later this week, and so that's Mercury aligning with Venus. So look at you go. And hello, Shannon. Thank you for joining us. So all of that to say that it gives me a little bit of hope as to the Scorpio energy that's happening Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and how negative for some of us it's been the past Scorpio season. So, hold on, pain ends, and focus on what you're trying to create, right? You've heard me say this many, many times. And then it goes into Sagittarius, and that's the whole season that's happening starting tomorrow until December 21st. And I'm just so grateful to finally make it to another season, because the energy of Sagittarius is very much focused on that vision. Think about the symbol for the sign. It is that bow and the arrow. So the arrow is obviously directed, right? And there's a lot of ways that you can talk about that symbolism. You have to do 3 steps back to then be projectiled forward. You can think about that as well, especially when the moon is in Scorpio and you may be revisiting some of the negativity from the past season. You may think about it as like, am I regressing instead of progressing? But the arrow tends to remind you to focus on the goal, focus on the finish line, and most importantly, I want to remind you to focus on the intention, which is the only thing you can control, or at least you have a say over, or at least you have a level of consciousness about, because you have no idea what that goal is going to be, or not what the goal is, but what's going to happen in the end, or what the result, I should say, is going to be. You can only just focus on, the force that you put into it, or the desire and the intention. So that's the season that we're going into. Sagittarius is also very optimistic, not just goal oriented, but hopeful about that goal. So interestingly enough, it's one of my favorite signs. So if you're listening and you're a Sagittarius, happy birthday in the next 4 weeks, and I hope you have a wonderful time. Yay! And so, yeah, hope, optimism, goal oriented. Um, what else comes to mind? Directed. And so here's the negative side of that, right? The other side of the coin is when the moon is in Sagittarius, or maybe throughout the whole Sagittarius season. If you're someone who has struggled in the past with setting goals and actually achieving them, if the word goals has a bad rap for you, which I know some people don't like. Oh, I don't like SMART goals, or I don't like the word goals, or whatever. If this conversation has a negative context in your experience, then you may struggle in this next season, because it's all about goal oriented. And the thing about not setting goals is that doing so may present a solution to the discomfort. So if you're just going to be closed minded and be like, I don't like goals, I just live my life and I flow and whatever, then you really cannot question when you feel uncomfortable. Does that make sense? Because if the season is kind of guiding you towards really focusing on a future vision, and really focusing on the next right step, or really focusing on your next best expression of your authenticity, which you've heard me say before, if you don't, then you're not in alignment with what's going on, right? And so that could explain some of the discomfort that you're feeling, right? And really, that's just me trying to predict what may be happening in your life in a negative way, so that you can at least be on the lookout, right? So the moon is going to be on Sagittarius late Wednesday. So that's when the new moon is happening, around 6 p.m., 5:50 something Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. for those in California. And of course, early morning Thursday for Rowena and the rest of our audience and friends in Australia. And so that's going to be Sagittarius. And then it's going to move into Capricorn at the end of the week, Saturday and Sunday. So Sagittarius is going to be Wednesday night, Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday it's in Capricorn. And the thing about Capricorn is that it's very community oriented, which is another thing that has, a negative aspect to this. If you are someone who lives alone and you're not actively engaging in a community, whether it's in person or online, then you might feel out of sorts when the moon is in Capricorn, because it's all about community service, serving the masses, making a difference, organizing things that are for the common good. Except if you live alone, then there's no common good there. It's just your own good, right? So there's a lot of ways to look at it. And if you are engaged in a community, however, then the moon in Capricorn may be one of those days where you check in on your community, even without even thinking about it. You just check in on the people. How are you doing? We haven't, as you know, most of you, I check in with you all the time, all of you in the audience, right? It's like, I haven't heard from you in a while. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? How are you feeling? And I find that some of those moments during the month happen when the moon is in Capricorn, and all of a sudden I get a spark of like, let me check in on people and see how they are, especially those that I haven't seen live or that I haven't seen online in a while, right? Like, where have you been, right? So that's going to be the week. That's a lot. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let me take a sip of this. Thanks. So, what are your thoughts? Definitely, I want to check in with you. Remember, this is the new moon episode, so we're going to journal and paint. We're going to talk about the new moon in a second. I have my chai tea, and my incense, I guess, died, but there was some incense burning up there, and I was very excited about it, but we're not going to do that now. Hello, Isis I. Welcome. It's the first time I see you here. So excited that you're here. I appreciate that. So yeah, if you're thinking anything about that moon cast, where the moon is for the whole week, then you're welcome to come up and share. Isis I was just sharing about how the moon is in Scorpio from today to Wednesday, then it moves into Sagittarius, and then it moves into Capricorn, and I shared some insight as to what that means. So you're welcome to tune into the replay until now, and then we're going to move on with the rest of the conversation. So let's talk about this new moon in Sagittarius. As you know, because we've done this many, many times since August, the new moon is all about manifesting, thinking about the seeds that you want to plant, thinking about, the thoughts, Mercury, that you want to bring to fruition, Venus, right? And so you align that context to the new moon context of planting seeds and hoping that they grow, and you have the perfect soil for really just brainstorming. What else? What else could you create? What are the possibilities? There's so many things that you could do if you think about it. Everybody's coming up with so many things online that I feel like if you did the research, really the sky or even beyond is the limit to the amount of things that you could put together in a specific amount of time and then put an offer out. It's now the question is, how are you going to put your own spin on it so that you don't copy anyone, obviously, because everybody's doing the same thing. How many people have subscriptions now? How many people have subscription boxes now? There's a service for everything, apps that do the same thing. There's Brain FM, music for your brain. There's Healy, frequencies for your body, and I don't know what else, right? It's like everybody doing the same thing because the wheel's already been invented. But everybody's doing it differently. So do your research and ponder, what can I create? What do I know to do that really resonates with my soul and that my audience could benefit from? So all of what I just said is pretty much, the energy of the moon in Sagittarius. And then how does my audience benefit from it? There's that moon in Capricorn. Hello, really. Welcome.
Hello, how you
Would you
doing?
like to be on camera?
No, it's a bad hair day,
No problem. So I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I You were talking about creating, and I'm in the process of creating a play, and a combination of two of my children's books. So I'm gonna
Oh, I love
create
that.
and put them into a play. But what it's actually, when I start thinking about it and what I'm gonna do, the brainstorming, all that, it calms me down. It really just relaxes me. It gets me into the book, into the play. And so I just wanted to mention that you were talking about creativity, and that's something I'm doing.
That's beautiful. Yes. And so it makes you feel comfortable. So you're not stressed about the process or any type of confused about the next step after you put this play together. I'm just asking out of concern.
No,
If you're not, then that's great, right?
yeah, not at all. I mean, I think just because I'm getting it started, and it's kind of just eased. It was just a thought, and now the process is beginning. and I accomplished a lot these last couple of days. So I'm at ease. I'm saying, wow, this is. Thank you, thank you. I said this is going pretty smoothly right now, and I'm not concerned with anything just because it's going pretty good.
Oh, I love that. And of course, there's that energy of flow. And there's
Yes,
so much peace in the flow. Once you achieve that, it's like, oh, it's like going on autopilot. Like I just can sit back and this is just happening, in front of me quite magically, right?
yes, yes.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I wanted someone to help me, and but they were kind of slowing it down, so I got away from that and just said, let me do it on my own.
Mm.
And so I just started doing it, and within 24 hours, I got a lot accomplished, and I'm real happy.
Yes, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. So happy that you felt the confidence to do it on your own. Sometimes we really do a disservice to ourselves when we think that we need someone else to help us or
True.
to, unite forces with someone or collaborate. When in
Yeah,
reality, we can advance that wheel a little further along if we just do it ourselves. There's a lot of context to that, or I should say nuance, right? If you want things done a certain way, you do them yourself. And if you want things done right, you do them yourself, and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, look at you proving it,
I
right?
agree. I agree.
Oh, so I'm very happy, very happy. So, in the context of the new moon and considering this project that you are finally flowing and coming about, what seeds would you like to plant this new moon?
Hmm. Um, let's see.
I'm going to write them down.
All right. Um, I would like um if this me. I mean, I don't know. No stress because of this. This this time is very stressful for people, and I think that they don't need to do that. And
Mm.
I just think that if we just do things day by day, things will get easier. So many people stress for the next day or the next weeks that are coming in this country and or in this world, and I just think that they stress out so much, and it's just make it simple. So I don't know if I did that right, but that's what I want to plant.
Oh, no, that's beautiful. And let me tell you, earlier in the conversation I hosted at 3 p.m., which, as you know, it's kind of like the preamble to this episode, somebody reminded me to be a beacon of calm. And
Mm,
so that's one of the seeds I'm planting, especially as I get ready and anticipate a full house with about 6 other adults during Thanksgiving.
yes.
Actually, 8 other adults plus my husband and I. So there's going to be 10 of us total plus Elijah, who is only 3. So yeah, I already feel it in my chest, right? The energy of like a house full of people and us hosting. And I mean, we do this every year, but this is the year with the most of them coming. All of our kids are local currently, so they're all coming to visit, right, with their
I
spouses
see.
or their girlfriends or whatever. And so thank you for planting those seeds because they're needed for everyone, right? No stress, peace and calm, I added, and trust, right?
Mm, I agree. I like that. I
Love
do.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you so much,
all
really.
right.
Thank you for coming up.
All right. I'm going to leave the stage. Continue to listen, and you get a 5 stars as always. Take care.
Oh,
All
thank
right.
you so much. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Everybody send some good reactions for really. Thank you for being here. And so if anybody else wants to come up, I would love to speak with you. Rowena, how's your week and what's going on? I love catching up with Rowena because she's always so in tune with what's going on with the moon and pretty aligned with some of the things that I say. And I just absolutely love that. Welcome. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday.
Thank you. Happy Moon Day.
Oh, you sound really
Um,
far away.
am I better now?
Yes, now you are.
Okay, cool. I will make sure I put the speaker nice and close. Yeah, I'm just sitting here doing my journaling while you're talking. It's so great. I was just reflecting when you were talking about goals. One of the things, like, I used to be really afraid of like setting goals. It felt so like, I had to be so certain. And so I started calling them intentions, which I know you
Yes.
kind of do which is this process, right? Is, setting intention. So I found it a lot easier to kind of write what I intended to create or what I would like, what my intent was. So yeah, I'm sitting here writing my intentions right now into my book. I had a change this week, Graciela. I like created all this amazing artwork this week. I was in like this hyper focused place on Sunday for 7 hours. I just
Wow.
created all this beautiful work. And then my friend was like, "What are you doing with all of that?" I go, "I don't know." She's like, "I'll buy some." So so yeah, I like want to set the intention for this month to kind of evolve that process and see a way that I might be able to put my artwork out there for others to enjoy.
Yeah, just
So
in time for the holidays. What a gift.
yeah, yeah.
I love that. Yes. And so it's like you're talking right now. So another seed that we could plant, for example, for Charlie is the intention to finish that script, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
nothing comes into his own experience to kind of deter him from that process, right? So when you set the intention to, I really want to focus on this. And here's the thing. Um, I have this personal goal, and it has to do with Black Friday. But at the same time, once I am done with my project and submit it, it may not be approved by Black Friday. So, how am I going to also set the intention to be that beacon of calm when the time comes, whether my project is approved or not, most likely if it's not approved, so that I can just chill and be compassionate. Because if I'm not compassionate, then I'm going to put myself down. I should have done it earlier. I should have submitted it sooner. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? I suck. I should have done this, blah, 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 blah. Right? And so to set the intention to really just know that you did your best, you did it when you could, you submitted it, and it's out of your hands when or how it gets approved or if it gets approved to begin with. And so the same thing with your art, you created freely. Somebody came into your experience to shop around, and what a beautiful surprise that is, right? When that happens. And now you're experimenting with putting your art out there. So I'm very excited for that process. I don't know if Australia has Etsy, but Etsy is all about vintage things and things that are created. I mean, there's a lot of things on Etsy that don't really qualify, but I feel like you have to check a box every time you list something on Etsy. So I wonder if whatever doesn't qualify is just, people checking the box anyway. But it's supposed to be vintage things, which means 50 years or older, and things that are handmade or created by you in a way, printouts or whatever. So, art and selling it. I'm so excited for you. So, congratulations on that, Rowena. Go ahead. You're muted.
Thanks. Yeah, that's it. And obviously my continuation of my next job role for me. But I've kind of surrendered to that. I actually had an epiphany last week where I was like, I had been focusing so heavily on like finding the right perfect thing. And so I've just taken all that pressure off myself and gone, just the next thing is what I need to do, the next thing. So that's actually just open up some avenues, and I have a few other options available now. So I'm just letting that flow. So I think the continue kind of surrender to what is next in my career, really.
Yes. I love
Mm.
that. Yes. And I have the
Mm.
perfect way of kind of illustrating that for you. So, if I may, here's the thing about what you just described. when you are fixated on something and you're standing so close to it, it's like, this is what I want. This is all that I see, right? And you don't see anything else. I'm obsessed with this option. This is the only option for me because this is the best option out there. However, when you surrender, when you kind of like lay back and just relax, right? This is actually a very comfortable chair that I have over here. When you sit back and you relax, you get to see all of it. And like you said, it is interesting how it opened up a world of possibilities. And maybe it's not a lot of possibilities, but even just being able to pinpoint, oh, I can actually do this as well. And I can actually create and sell my art, or I can actually make this and sell it as well, or, do this or that. It's just beautiful. And I feel like when it comes to highly sensitive people, or intuitive people, which we all have intuition. The question is, where are you in the development of that intuition? So let's make that clear. But when I say intuitive people, I mean people who are already, further in that development. It's very common for us to want to experiment, not want to do the same thing all the time. Everybody tells me that I do too many things, and it's like, I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I coach today, and tomorrow I host a show, and the next day I do something else, and the next day I'm a writer. It's like, yes, this is what I want, right? And and this was a very serious lesson for me, as my father, who was the intuitive and highly sensitive musician in our family, worked in a cubicle his whole life. And what a lesson that was for us to feel and to experiment with him, that discomfort of being, constrained in his professional, career. And so I refuse, right? And it's so beautiful to just surrender, to step back and to open up to all of those possibilities. So I'm very proud of you for reaching that point in your development where you can just let things flow and see what happens. And the thing is that if the moon has shown us anything, is that it's a constant change. Isn't there a saying that says that the only thing for sure is that things will change, or something like that? Don't quote me on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Right?
The
Yeah,
only constant
exactly.
is change. It's true. Yeah.
Right. The only constant is change. And, even with the moon being 3 days, I don't know, waxing crescent, it's like it's a degree bigger and bigger and bigger every single day. So it's never the same. And we're never the same either. So it's very important to just, give into that flow, because beautiful things happen. So yay, Rowena, growing up. I'm so proud.
Thanks,
Okay.
Graciela.
Yeah.
It's really great. Yes, surrendering is an art
I know.
in itself.
Absolutely. I agree. So thank you so much for coming up. And I'm going to give you some journal promptings, at least one of them, so that you can be in tune with this new moon. And we'll definitely stay in touch. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks.
Of course. Yes. Everybody give her a hand. Thank you so much, Charlie. I appreciate that. Yeah. And so, again, the new moon in Sagittarius. What are your next goals? So not only are we, entering a new season in the zodiac, right, Sagittarius, but we're also entering a new season in general. If you're in the northern hemisphere, which is, late fall, winter solstice, and winter. And if you celebrate Christmas and all that, then you're entering into the holiday season as well. So it's like a new season altogether. It's a huge, context of new seasons happening. What does that mean for you internally? And how can you honor your values? How can you honor, your own desires? How can you honor your truth in the process of setting those intentions, or in the process of setting those goals? What about goals like that are family things, like do you have goals together with your partner or your spouse? Do you need to paint your house? Do you need to redecorate? Are you planning on moving? Like, these are goals that tend to have a date fixated on them and tend to include other people. And when goals tend to include other people, there's a lot of friction, right? Because we tend to, and when I say we, I mean, if you can identify, then this is us. We tend to want things done a specific way, and so we tend to pick up the slack for other people, or, right, which is kind of a trauma response as well. So let's not get into that whole psychological rabbit hole. We tend to also kind of take things slower when they include other people, and then if you are one of those control freaks, then you may experiment, the energy of, why is this taking so long? If I was doing it by myself, I would have been done already. So there you go. There's that goal versus how I can do it on my own, the goal that includes a group. Oh, so much that can be said about Sagittarius. And so think about those things. And the biggest, what's the word, journal prompting I feel like I can come up with for the new moon is, how can I ponder, you know, how can I get rid of my self doubt in order to really start working towards my goals? Because as you know, the new moon is the beginning of the cycle. So you have a whole month, well, two weeks actually. You have 2 weeks between the new moon, and then 2 weeks later, the full moon closes the cycle. So how are you, how can you just ponder that self doubt? Where is it coming from? Address it. Think about the dark side of the moon. There's that self doubt there, right? The fear of failure, fear of sucking at it, fear of judgment is huge, right? When we are creating something, or when we show up and others judge us for no reason. And it's like, why? Why do people do this? Well, we don't know. We can't control what other people do, think, or say, unfortunately, right? And so and so I can only control me and what I do and what I create. So how can I jump that hurdle and create it anyway? So this is one of the things that I wanted to ponder in the new moon, because if you're thinking about that arrow and it's directed at your goal, pointing you in the direction that you want to go, then what is between you and that goal that may be getting in your way? And how can you simply just go around it, push it aside, jump the hurdle? What do you want to call it? Go under it because it's a bridge. Like, so many ways to look at it. So ponder that, how can you kind of break through that obstacle and make it to your goal, directed anyway. And there's other ways to look at it as well, because I don't know, it's like I can hear opposition saying, well, an arrow goes straight, but life is not like that. Like, life is curvy and whatever. That's the opposition I hear in my head right now. And you're right. Life is not necessarily a straight, right? A straight way. So at the end of the day, if you're making curves, is because you're avoiding all of those obstacles and you're going around them. So at the end of the day, you can still be directed and have that future vision and focus on the end result, even if something comes along that just makes you change directions. Then you get another goal. It really depends on you and how you want to envision it. So that's a lot. I've said a lot. So let's talk about the things. So I am actually planting seeds of calmness, seeds of, I like to hold on to my values when people come over to visit, because it's my home and it's my life, and we can talk about many things, but there's a certain level of respect that is expected, right, when communicating with others. So, and this is Venus as well, and as you know, I'm a Taurus, and Venus rules Taurus, and Taurus is all about values and blah blah blah. We've talked about this, a lot. So I definitely want to kind of remember, what are my values in this season in my life. What are the things that really interest me, and what am I willing to talk about, venture into, or kind of get into a conversation about? Ooh, boundaries. Yes, seeds of boundaries are huge. If you are listening or watching and you are going to visit family or welcome family in your home where there's friction, then you might want to ponder, what boundaries to bring up even before you have those conversations so that nothing takes you by surprise. This is the seed of preparedness, right? And your level of confidence is directly correlated to how prepared you are. Because, when you're pondering, for example, I was talking about earlier, for those of us that are activists, which is something we've discussed before as well, we are all activists. Every single time you speak up about what you want or what you need, that is an act of activism. Emphasis on the word act, right? And so we're all activists. And with that said, for those of us that really, really are into social activism and the community at large, there may be people in your experience or in your family who don't align with, the same things that you want to, be an activist for, right? And so you might want to ponder, we're not having that conversation. That's a boundary. Or I'm just not going to bring this up with this person because it's pointless and it always ends in an argument. And you already know this. So that's another boundary. Or I'm just going to avoid this person because every time they come to talk to me, it's about something negative and it's exhausting. We all know a negative Nelly, right? So no offense to anybody with the real name Nelly. Sorry about that. And so, that's a boundary as well. Or, I just don't want to engage in this type of conversation because it's pointless to discuss this with you. Unfortunately, these are all boundaries. And so think about that as well as you approach the holidays, and you may be visiting people and friends, family and friends, who may not align with the things that you value. And if you want to hold on to your truth and align yourself with your values, authenticity, experience, and whatnot, then you need to not practice, but at least ponder what you're going to say when those values are questioned, when your lifestyle is questioned, right? As a first-time mom of a toddler, my motherly decisions, my parenting style is questioned often by the people in my family. But why did you do this? And you should be doing this. And why is he doing this? And blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, we're not having this conversation because he is my child. And I know what I have discussed with his pediatrician and what I have discussed with my husband. And at the end of the day, these are the people that I really want to know what their input is on how we raised our child, not necessarily other people who don't live here, who don't see him every day, who have no clue what's really going on. And the thing is that we all have an opinion and we all want to share our opinion, right? You may want to share your opinion about other people as well. So hopefully they know what boundaries are and they can keep, those boundaries in play for them as well. Everybody deserves that. So I hope that you ponder this in the coming holiday season. Yay! So we're talking about boundaries, values, no stress, peace and calm, trust. And while you get ready for your meditation, I'm going to go ahead and paint over this really quick. As you know, we paint over our intentions every new moon and every full moon. This is kind of a small one, but I love it. I wonder if Curtis is feeling better. Curtis, send me an emoji if you're feeling better, or if you would like to come up. We are planting seeds of health and good vibes for Curtis, who wasn't feeling well earlier this weekend. And of course, Shannon, if you would like to come up as well. Shannon is going to be my guest in December. Everybody, follow Shannon on Instagram. Look up shy, the word shy, and then shutter, as in a camera shutter, SHUTTER. And she takes awesome pictures of the moon. I love them so much. So, Shannon, if you would like to come up and share, you're also welcome to do so. Yay! I'm so excited to have Shannon in the show as one of my guests. I texted her this weekend and I said, hey, would you like to be a guest in my show? And she's like, when? I'm like, I don't know, sometime in December. I'll follow up. So that was me just planting little seeds of intention, right? Planting the idea out there. As long as there is a yes we can make it happen anytime and any day. So I'm very excited to have that conversation. So if you're new to my show, let me tell you a little bit about this, if I may. Everybody, just hang tight while I draw this, and then we're going to do our meditation. We meet every single Monday on Moon Day, right? Hang on, because I had a drawing around here of the Sagittarius symbol, which is, okay, I'm trying to do like a bow and an arrow type of thing. So we meet every Monday to discuss and to strategize for the week, because Monday is the most important day of the week. What you bring to your Monday resonates to the rest of your week. So if you're moody, if you are stressed, if you are late, if you are just not in the mood for things, if you're hungover, if you're too tired because you didn't rest well, it's like starting the week with that kind of energy really resonates and doesn't necessarily set you up for success. Right? And so I consider Monday to be the most important day of the week. Of course, Sunday is wonderful. We go to church, we do this, we do that, family time, blah, blah, blah. But Monday, when it comes to business, relationships, and what you're trying to create, Monday is huge. So we meet every Monday to talk about our week. What are you looking forward to create? What are you looking forward to this week? What are you working on? What are you struggling with? These are some of the things that we discuss every Monday. But then for the new moon and the full moon, we have this type of episode where we discuss, specific intentions or specific things that we want to plant for the new moon or release for the full moon. And so I like to journal those and then paint over what we journaled. So like right here, there's this moon. This was from the pink moss moon back in February of this year. So what I journaled is under there, and then I painted over it during one of our private episodes when this show was actually private before it was here on Fireside. And so this is what we do every new moon and every full moon. Next year, and I know this because I've been looking into it, next year, a lot of the new moons and the full moons fall on a Friday, which means we're going to have our show on Monday, and then we're going to come back for the new moon episode or the full moon episode that Friday. We're doing this today for the new moon because it's happening on Wednesday and it is close enough. So I'm just doing a little bow and arrow here, and I'm putting up some yellow and some orange because I searched the whole Mercury and Venus context, and I saw some orange in some of the things that I found. And so we're going to go ahead and try to align everything together, that intention, let it be known that we want to align with some of the energy that's happening, and just put that intention out there. Like I said earlier, Mercury in aligning with Venus has to do with our intentions coming to fruition, which is so appreciated during a new moon when we really want some of these seeds to kind of happen, and some of our dreams to materialize and come together. So here it is, my little bow and arrow. There you go. And I put it right behind our previous episode, which said trust. Yay! So don't forget to trust everybody. Thank you. Yeah, don't forget to trust in the process. Trust, that you are directed. Trust that your intention is pure. Oof, you have no idea. This year has been so interesting, spending time on Twitter with some of the most vicious people I have ever come in contact with. It's been so interesting to to experience people who, I don't know if they follow me or not. I'm not interested in like diving deeper into it, but just people who put my content or my integrity in question. And it's like, when it comes to that arrow and that intention, all I can focus on and all I can control is who I am, what I value, what I stand for, my own integrity, right? My own sense of commitment, my own sense of honor, and all of that. I cannot control somebody else making up things or somebody else judging or somebody else lying. I can't control any of that. I can only control how I direct myself and how I react, right, when things are directed at me. Yeah, and so it's been a very interesting season to kind of put some of these things together. So, wow, wow, wow. What interesting time to grow. And I think, I've been doing this moon thing since about December of last year. And so December was December, but January up until now, what a year growing with all of this context of the new moon and the full moon, then the new moon, then the full moon, and all of that. It's been amazing. So thank you all for being here. Now, let's get to the meditation. Um, Ooh, really? Charlie says he was supposed to delete his Twitter today. Ooh. I'll DM you to know what stopped you, or maybe you're just gonna do it now. But there's, you don't need to tell me. There's so much going on. So let's just focus on this meditation. Maybe something will come up now that will, provide some insight or some clarity or just, the courage to go and do it. Where would you like to go? As you know, we are listening to Brain FM, music for your brain. In the link in the fortune cookie, or if you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, first of all, thank you for being here and thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. In the link in the description, you will find all of my links: how to book a call, how to buy me a cup of tea. I would love that. Thank you for that. Or how to download Brain FM and get a free trial. I use this every single day for focus, creativity, reading, unwinding, meditation, all that jazz. So definitely check it out. Let's go ahead and ponder something that will sound good to do to you on the microphone. Let's do atmospherics. Both feet on the ground, shoulders back. You may want to stretch. Nice stretch, just relax. Settle down into this moment. Focus your attention on your normal, steady breathing. And follow my lead. So with me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath in, just nice and slow. Fill your lungs all the way. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go nice and slow through your mouth. Nice long breath out. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in again through your nose. Deep breath in through your nose. Fill your lungs. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let it go through your mouth. And as you let it go, I want you to ponder and imagine that you are just floating in space, weightless, careless, surrounded by darkness and so many stars, no moon, and you get the opportunity to direct your journey anywhere you want to go on Earth. Where is that place? What comes to mind? Is it a city? Is it a jungle? Ruins? Temple? And as you direct yourself and make your way towards it, I want you to imagine what it will feel like to be there. Feet on the ground, taking in your surroundings, pondering your purpose and reasons for being there. And as you take a deep breath in through your nose, I want you to think about, what does this place smell like? Hold it at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go through your mouth. And as you let it go, settle into that exhale and think about the satisfaction of getting there. Take in all of the beauty and the success of making it there. And what if the place you're trying to get to is a feeling? A concept that you're trying to master? A project that you're working to finish? As you breathe in nice and slow, I want you to open your chest, shoulders back, chin up, and think about the magnitude of finishing, accomplishing it, getting to that goal, manifesting that intention. The sense of pride, the sense of joy, the peace that comes with completion. That gentle smile that comes when you accomplish something, whether it's big or small. Bring your awareness to your hand and hand on your heart. And remember, I am so loved. I am so grateful for all of the efforts and all of the steps that got me to this place that got me to this thing right here, right now. I am grateful for all the opportunities and all the opposition that helped me remember what I stand for, what I believe in, and what I am trying to create. I am supported and protected every step of my journey. I am directed and so hopeful. With me, take a deep breath in through your nose, deep, nice and slow. Just fill your lungs all the way. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go through your mouth, nice and slow, all the way till you have no air. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again through your nose. Nice and slow, deep, deep, deep breath in all the way. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go through your mouth all the way. Bring your awareness to your toes and wiggle them. Move your feet and come back to me. Open your eyes and make your way back to back to this broadcast. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I'm so grateful for you. So happy that we get to share in this community every Monday. Thank you so much to my lovely subscribers. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful for the ideas that just in conversation with you, I get ideas for the next month and moving forward. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for supporting my content the way that you do. If you are wondering where to find me, all of the links are in the link in the fortune cookie or in the description box below. And you can find me on Instagram, songofmyself.ig. Thank you so much, Rowena. I love you so much. You can find me on Twitter, SOM Coaching, as well as my website, actually. It's somcoaching.com. And of course, in the link in my bio, you can book a call if you're, finding the need for coaching, consulting, spiritual guidance, all of it. I'm so grateful to be in your experience and to help you figure things out. This is really what brings me so much joy, to be of service to you. So thank you all again. I hope you have a wonderful week. Yay! Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful new moon. I love you all. I will see you next week. Bye.